There's too much text on the web. You've got to write less, not more, on the web. You're writing with electrons. Think of it, it's much more fun than writing with print, with ink, on paper that reflects light. You're talking through the screen. Electrons are pouring out at people. You are not writing another novel. You're not writing another paper in school. School teaches too many people to write too much. You may think that you've avoided writing papers because you write on a word processor, but your mind is still thinking in terms of documents. You think of beginning, middle, and end. You think, I must use more fancy words. I must use different words to refer to the same thing. I should add some adjectives. I should add some adverbs. I need to write long paragraphs. That's what got rewarded in school. That's what often gets rewarded in business. When you go to school, you're asked to write papers. In business, you're told, write a white paper. Or give me a PowerPoint slide. Well, but let's put a lot more text in there. Let's use 10-point type. Let's go to the margins. Let's fill it up. We have more things to say. We have to put them all in the PowerPoint. So the mindset of paper is still with us, even though we're using electronic tools. What I'm asking you to do is to shorten your text, and that is in order to appeal to people who are using your text, not reading it. They don't want to sit here and light a candle and sit in a leather chair and say, I wonder what Melville's latest novel is like. I'm going to read for a few hours. No, these people want to use your text to get somewhere, to learn something, to enjoy themselves, to entertain themselves. But they are not willing to read a lot. When you get users and ask them, what was the problem with this page? They'll say things like, and they wave their hands, there was too much verbiage. Well, you wrote that verbiage. You wrote those words. So write less. That's the whole point. If you do one thing to improve any web page, it is to cut the text. A rough rule of thumb is if it started on paper, cut it by 50%. Cut half of it. How do you do that? That's not easy. You want to end up with a text looking light and simple, but to get there is hard. I think it's Cicero who first said, I don't have time to write a short letter, so I'm writing a long one. It takes more time, it takes more work to write short, but from a reader's point of view, from a user's point of view, the results are easier to process. I can understand what you say faster, and I can act on it. So it is hard. It means getting rid of adjectives, getting rid of any repetitions, taking a phrase and boiling it down to one word, thinking of words that are one syllable. Try writing a sentence that's nothing but words of one syllable. Now, we've been trained in school to think of that as a little stupid. It actually takes more work than to write vague, large words drawn from Latin with about 5 or 6 syllables in them. That sounds really impressive, but no one really knows what it means. So focus on short words that refer to objects, physical objects, or actions that people can see. Those get across to me. When you have a choice between an unfamiliar word and a familiar word, pick the familiar word. You are trying to communicate. You are not trying to impress. The point of your writing on the web is to get from your spirit to that of the other person. You can hear my dogs. They've just heard the UPS guy come to the door. You should be making your people wake up like those dogs just woke up at the sound of someone there. Trim the text. That's the secret. That'll get you more than anything else that you can do to improve your web page. Think of all those actors, when they sit there and they pretend to be writing in all those movies, actors don't know what writers do. So they think, oh, well, I'm going to scribble on this page, yes. Oh, and then I have an idea, and I'm a genius, right? And so I have a better idea. And they write again, and they tear up the page and throw it away. You should do the same. Throw away the paper. Write short, and not in the paper paradigm, but in the electronic one. Think of your words as coming out of your fingers as electrons going to other people in short little packets. That's what you want to do when you write for the web.